Okay, we've made it to the last task here. So as a little follow-up to get you ready to make sure you're good to go for the homework, let's go ahead and take a look at these questions. So it says, for example 1, graph the following linear equations in the grid. If the equation y equals x has been graphed for you already, and I actually have to say this is the graph of y equals negative x, so let's just change that right here. For each new equation, explain what the number -3 does the graph of y equals negative x. Pay attention to the y-intercept, x-intercept, and slope. And if it changes the graph, what stays the same. So if we have negative x minus 3, that means we're starting at -3. Notice here it looks like every 2 box is there counting as 1, so -3 is going to be down here. And I can't go down 1 over 1, so I'm going to go up 1, left 1, right? Up 1, left 1, up 1, left 1. So this line will look like this. So here the slope is the same. We have a new x-intercept, right? The x-intercept is now -3, but the y-intercept is also now -3, whereas it used to be 0, 0. Okay, whereas this next one, let's just do a different color for kicks. So we are now starting at +3, so we're up here, but still a slope of -1. So down 1, right 1, down 1, right 1, down 1, right 1. We're going to have this purple line. So the slope, once again, is still the same. Your x-intercept this time is a +3, and so is your y-intercept. It's a +3. This graph, you could think about this equation as y equals -x minus a -3, because it's saying what does the -3 do to it? So we're taking away a -3, which is the same as adding, right? Okay. Last but not least, we don't have a y-intercept, right? It's at 0, but we have a slope of -3 over 1, or up 3, left 1. So it is going to be this blue line. So this time, I would say it's a steeper slope, right? But we have the same x and y intercepts. Okay. I'm going to leave it up to you why you think that it does have 3 different effects, right? Subtracting 3, basically like adding or subtracting a -3. So adding a -3, and then this multiplying by -3. Think about why it has those different effects. And in Module 2, we're going to look at what those, kind of the reasoning behind it. Okay, example 2, it says distinguish between linear, exponential, and quadratic functions. Suppose a group of settlers finds an uninhabited island on a specific island. There are 39 people initially, and we're going to call in 1500 AD. I'm going to call that year 0. 0 year. And 2704 after 250 years. So, first of all, is this a function? And then we want to go ahead and explain, is it linear, exponential, quadratic, or neither? And we'll go from there. So, I'm going to just kind of think about it. In year 0, if I'm at 39 people, like I'm all the way down here, right? And then after 250 years, I'm up at 2704. Okay, looks like each of these go up by 100, so this graph's not quite large enough, so we're like off the graph here. We're saying, well, what's going on here? And in this case, I would kind of say there's a few different answers you could have, right? It totally depends on how you see it happening. Because since there's only 2 points, it's hard for us to kind of see what the rate of change would be between these, right? If you thought about it as linear, you could say that it was adding, right? You'd think about it as a straight line between these 2 points, right? Whereas if you thought it was exponential, right, it would be more curved, etc. Is it a function? I would say yes, because these 2 points do not have the same input, right? The input does not have the same the same input does not have different outputs. So something like that is okay. And then I'm going to say for these, so we do have, this is years after 1500 AD, and then this is people, And then I'm going to say for this, like, need another point, right? You need to have at least 3 points to establish which of these it is. Okay, last but not least, match the function representation. So I gave you f of x is equal to 3x plus 5. What type of function equation is this? This is linear. I guess it gives you the 3 options there, so it's linear. It is not exponential, right? Not exponential, that would be more like 3 to the power of x. It's not quadratic, that'd be like 3 times x squared, right? So I have x squared. So now it says to graph it. So we would go to y-intercept of 5, up 3 over 1, or down 3 left 1, down 3 left 1, and this is what your graph would look like. Okay, hope that helps you get through some of the homework. Good.